Plains fall silent, skies empty, and beneath your feet something vast is waiting. 77 million years ago, wings wider than fighter jets cut across the air. Old Iwas with teeth like knives, creatures that looked like dragons. Today, their bones rest under layers of stone so deep the world nearly forgot them. Until now. And here's what no one tells you. Your life works the same way. You bury effort no one sees. Nights where your eyes burn, mornings where your chest feels heavy, and still nothing changes. No applause, no recognition, just silence. You think it means you're failing. Wrong. It means you're fossilizing. Most people rot. Few fossilize. That's the brutal truth. 92% of goals are abandoned within 30 days. 92% vanish like dust, erased with no trace. But the rare few, they endure pressure. They survive silence. They harden into something unbreakable. That's the line between extinction and immortality. Picture it. A scientist brushes away dust, grain by grain. At first, nothing. Then suddenly a wing longer than a bus emerges. The world screams, "Dragon fossil found!" Headlines explode. Crowds cheer. But the truth is darker. That fossil waited in silence for 77 million years. Forgotten. Crushed. Invisible. Until the day it surfaced. And you felt that silence. The invisible grind. The nights where you pour hours into work no one values. The gym sessions no one notices. The study that no one praises, you think it's wasted. But it's sediment. Every hidden rep, every unseen page, every quiet choice, it's another layer on top of you. Pressure stacking, time sealing, transformation happening underground. But here's the part they never show. Most fossils never surface. Less than 0.01% of species ever fossilize. The rest, gone. No trace, no memory. The same is true for effort. Most of what people start decays before it hardens. That could be you, unless you stay buried long enough, unless you let the silence shape you. So ask yourself, now, are you rotting or fossilizing? You wake up at 3 a.m. Your room is silent, but your head is screaming, eyes dry, chest tight, screen glowing in the dark. You've been grinding for hours, and still nothing moves. That emptiness staring back in the mirror, that's what 77 million years of silence looks like. No progress, no applause, just dirt piling higher. And you wonder, maybe it's pointless. Maybe you're wasting time. Wrong. That silence is the furnace. That pressure is the proof. Science backs this. Your brain wires new skills through repetition, not recognition. Neural pathways wrap in myelin after hundreds of buried attempts. 400 silent repetitions before strength takes hold. 400 failures before permanence. You don't feel it, but underground, your brain is fossilizing new power. Here's the danger. Most never reach that point. Studies show 92% abandon their goals within 30 days. Not because they couldn't succeed, but because they couldn't stand the silence before the spike. They walked away while the fossil was still soft, while the effort was still fragile. That's why most people vanish. Collapsed, forgotten, buried alive. Now look at fossils. Less than 0.01% of creatures survive long enough to harden into stone. The rest rot, erased from history. Translate that to your own life. Most effort dies because people stop reinforcing it. They give up before the sediment seals it. But a rare few like you can endure the silence. And those rare few, they become unbreakable. Imagine this scene. Dust rising in sunlight. A paleontologist kneels, brush trembling. Grain by grain, a massive wing begins to appear. Crowds call it a miracle, overnight success. But the truth is darker. That fossil endured storms, predators, crushing sediment for 77 million years. Forgotten, crushed, and still it waited. That's what your unseen work is doing right now. But here is the part they never show. Pressure doesn't mean you were breaking. It means you're being preserved. You think it's punishment, it's proof. And if you can endure it long enough, you won't just survive, you'll surface. So ask yourself how many of your efforts are already fossilizing beneath the surface, invisible today but impossible to erase tomorrow. And how many have you abandoned right before they hardened into permanence? Think back to the last time you almost gave up. The pressure felt unbearable, the progress invisible. You told yourself it wasn't worth it. But what if that moment wasn't proof of failure? What if it was proof of preservation? Fossils don't form in comfort. They form under crushing weight, in darkness, with no sign of light. That's the same pressure you're living through now. Most people collapse here. 40% abandon dreams after their first failure. 40% erased before the second attempt. They don't vanish because they lack talent. They vanish because they couldn't stand the burial stage. Pressure broke them before it preserved them. But you can endure it. You've already felt nights where your work went unseen, hours poured into silence, results buried. That's not wasted. That's fossilization. Every invisible act, every hidden attempt, every quiet choice, it's another layer pressing down, sealing you into permanence. Now imagine this. A fragile pterosaur so small it could perch on your shoulder. Scientists found its bones in 2025, buried for 209 million years. Something that delicate should have been erased. But it wasn't. It survived storms, oceans, time itself. Until one day the dust was brushed away and the world saw it. That's not luck. That's endurance. That's survival through silence. But here's what they don't tell you: your greatest results are already inside you. Buried, hardened, waiting. They are invisible now because they must be. If they surfaced too soon, they'd crumble. The pressure is not punishment, it's protection. So the real question isn't, will you succeed? The real question is, can you endure long enough for the ground to crack? Because when it does, the result will not be fragile. It will be massive, undeniable, fossilized. And yet, here's the loop you need to hold on to. If scientists nearly missed one of the greatest fossils in history because it was buried too deep, how many of your greatest results are still hidden right now? And what if you walk away before the excavation begins? One day excavation begins. A crack in the ground, a fragment of bone. At first it looks like nothing. Then the dust clears and a skull the size of a car emerges, a jaw filled with knives, wings stretching wider than an F-16. The world gasps, a dragon fossil. But you know the truth. It wasn't magic, it wasn't luck, it was silence, pressure, and time. 77 million years of burial. And then a single moment of revelation. Your life is no different. To others, your rise will look sudden. A miracle. Overnight success. But you'll know the truth. It was buried years ago, in every invisible act you refuse to abandon. That's why you cannot quit in the silence, because silence is the signal that something is forming. Here is the fact that should haunt you. Less than 0.01% of species fossilize into history. The rest vanish, forgotten forever. That's the choice in front of you, to be erased or to endure until your work hardens into something unbreakable. And you've felt this weight already. The lonely grind, the invisible repetitions, the hours no one saw. You thought they were wasted. They weren't. They were sealing you in permanence. You're not broken, you're buried. And buried things don't vanish, they transform. So every time you feel invisible, tell yourself, I am fossilizing my effort. Write it, say it, believe it. Because when the dust clears, the results won't be fragile. They will be massive, undeniable, just like a wing breaking through stone. And here's the final question. You thought fossils were only about the past. But what if the fossil isn't in the ground, it's inside you? What if the creature buried beneath your silence is waiting to rise? I'll leave resources and books on resilience and hidden effort in the description so you can keep digging deeper. And if you're ready for the next excavation, don't stop here. The story continues in the next video. Sleep only 4 hours and wake up refreshed, scientifically proven.